just going to kind of narrate a little bit as I go. This is a PMR. We're going to put an ultralight frame on it, and we're going to put a lucky board in the frame. First, remove the barrel, remove the tank. We're going to turn the marker on and force a shot real quick. Make sure that there's nothing in it. Make sure that there's no air to escape. Then we're going to just open up the grip panels. We're going to need a 3/32 Allen wrench for this. They're just 2 grip frame screws. Just pull them both out. Once that's open up, we're going to remove the grip frame screws. This just holds the grip frame to the PMR. So just remove the first screw, turn the board back off, get rid of the battery. And the reason we've opened up the grip panels is so I can get at the screw that holds on the ASA. Just loosen that screw a little bit and pull that out real quick and pull the ASA off. Now we can unscrew the reg, and that's where the 3rd frame screw is. So again, back to the 3/32 Allen wrench. And now the larger wrench to get out that larger screw in the ASA. Alright, with that off, the frame's off now. What we need to do next is disconnect the eyes, that's the spring for the trigger, and disconnect the solenoid. We don't want to pull any of those wires out accidentally. And we're going to go ahead and pull the eye covers out and get the eyes out that way, because we're going to actually add laser eyes to this at the same time. Now the body's only held on by the eye, so we're going to grab our 1/16 Allen wrench and just loosen that eye cover. Once that eye cover's off, we'll be able to pull the eye out. And then the same thing on the other side. Obviously now's a good time to check ball detents and do stuff like that. And just push the eye through and pull it out the bottom of the body. Same thing with the other side. Don't yank on them or anything, no reason to break them. Ribbon eyes are delicate enough without you guys yanking on them. Now we need to open up the grip panel of the ultralight frame so we can just loop the eyes in and plug in the solenoid. Again, it's a 3/32 Allen wrench, and it's just 3 screws. Whereas the PMR, you loosen the left grip panel. On the ultralight, you loosen the right grip panel. You can just tuck the grip below. And now you need that Phillips head screwdriver. There are 2 board screws, one at the top and one at the bottom. And the board lifts right out. You need those screws though. Make sure the battery is not connected at this time. Grab the lucky board, and we need to install the Spitfire chip. Line up the U on the board and the U on the chip, then push the chip all the way into place. Most problems occur from improperly installed chips, either upside down, bent prongs, or just simply not properly pushed all the way in. And the same 2 Phillips head screws. Oops, slipped a little. Magnetic screwdriver would have helped out a little bit there. And we're just screwing the board all the way into place. Again, this is the same board that goes in a DM6, a DM7, a PM6 ultralight frame. The reason you can put it in the PMR is the wired eyes. There's no eye connection for the silly ribbon eyes, at least not the newer version. There's a connection for the older ribbon eyes that Dye used to use, but the wired eyes are vastly superior. And that's what we're tucking into the body now. They have to go up, and then I'll use the Allen wrench that I used to pull off the eye cover. takes a minute to get the eyes through, at least for me. And then once it's pulled through, just push the head of the eye in and then pull and loop the wires back through. The Lucky laser eye wires are very thin, so they're perfect for fitting up between that frame and that body. And before I do the other one, I don't want this one to get away, so going ahead and putting the eye cover back on. Flipping it over, same thing with the other eye. Push them both into place, make sure they're lined up properly, screw the other side back down. Now, before we go any further and test them, actually plug them in, make sure that they're working right. And we just need to plug the solenoid and the eye in. Both plugs are at the top of the board. Obviously, avoiding pinched wires is going to be a big concern here in a moment. But the first thing we want to do is make sure everything works. Grab the battery harness. Make sure it's going the right way. All of the plugs have little notches on them, so it's easy to tell which way they go in. And plug the battery in, and just let's go ahead and test it and turn it on. Eyes are functioning. See green, red, green. Eyes are working properly. So we're in good shape so far. We already tested to make sure that the trigger hit the switch properly. Big things with installing the board. A couple seconds late here on. Make sure that when you install the board that the buttons are all the way in place so that they'll move the on-off and the eye properly. And make sure that the trigger switch and the trigger are in properly. You don't want to have the switch caught behind the trigger or anything like that. I know these seem silly, but I've seen people assemble guns completely and then figure it out. We're back to those 3/32 Allen wrenches and the big 3/16 Allen wrench for the ASA. Here's another thing. The back screw for the PMR Ultralite frames I've seen so far, it takes a longer screw than the stock screw. Don't use the stock screw. You can strip the body out. Dye doesn't provide that extra screw, so make sure you find one. I got this one out of just a Matrix parts kit. And the front 3/32 Allen wrench. And we need to put the 3 grip panel screws back in, also 3/32. And then we're back to screwing the reg on. It's important to note that the macro line that comes with the stock PMR, it won't be long enough once you put the Ultralite frame on. Just slide the ASA on, and see, the macro line's on the short side. It won't work properly. Need to replace that with a slightly longer macro line. Those 3 grip panel screws need to go in. And we'll be in business. Alright, longer macro lines installed. And tighten down the ASA. And put the Unitech barrel back on. And test for function again real quick. Turns on. Eye displays properly. Laser eyes look cool. We're set to go. And force a couple shots on the solenoid and even test it with the eyes off. Ta-da!